Some people, they're already financially free and they didn't even know it. Let me break it down of how simple this is, because this might be you as well. You may already be financially free. You may already be able to spend more time with your loved ones, work on your health, build a property portfolio, do deals, go out and network and hang around with awesome people. You may already be in a position to do that. So I had someone come up to me at one of the latest events where we were training on property, and they were like, yeah, I want to quit my job and I want to get to financial freedom. That's my goal, and that's many people's goal. Two people that came up to me, they were financially free. What does that mean? That means that they can now decide what they want to do when they want. What this also means is like, now I've got the time to put into what I want to do in life, which for these people, they want to build massive passive property income. Here's how. These two people, they were living in their own home. They told me what equity that they got. One of them, in a sizable home, they refinanced, they could literally pay themselves $5,000 a month for over a year. That's enough to go rocket fuel their life, right? Get discipline, get the coaching, get the training, take the action, get the mentoring to build a massive business that will then generate 5, 10, 15, even 20,000 a month. Someone else, there was a smaller equity, yeah? So I think the 94K on the mortgage, 180K was the value of the house. Now what could be done is you take the money out of the house, then do the bathrooms and do the kitchens. This was like what they wanted to do. Now they could rent that out as their first portfolio property. Look, 20 grand is all you need, and 2 grand a month, that means you've got 10 months to go out there and start making money. Let me make sure you guys are getting how simple this is. So you have the value of a house, and I'm going to use the example. Yeah, so the value of the house was about 180, but let's even take like a low price, because some of you are going to start getting skeptical about what you can get. Let's say it's 160,000. Yeah, I could leverage that up to probably more, but let's go safe with 75%. That means 120,000. Now left on the mortgage was 94,000. Yeah, so let me take that away. So that means there's £26,000 of equity on the low side of everything. So let's say I want to refinance it. And then what I will do is now, let's say I need £2,000 a month. I'll divide that up. I've got 13 months of wages to pay myself every single month, the £2,000 that I need to live. And then I start deploying and employing myself onto my property business. Some people, they're already financially free and they didn't even know it. But there are so many options, so many creative options. Maybe I take the money and I make that a rental and I go rent somewhere else and I use the rest of the money. There's just so many ways you can do it. So much creativity, so many ideas. My juices are really flowing now. When people ask me these questions, when we start doing the private, mentoring Q&As, deals and strategy sessions, like you can see at these events, like that is where, we go right deep dive into how to make it work. None of this surface level fluff stuff, which doesn't produce anyone results. They just think it's a good idea and never do anything. You're gonna need the practical strategies, you're gonna need to deep dive, you're gonna need the technical information, and then the mindset, because you need mindset. You're gonna need the mindset to deploy the strategies, what we teach you on here. So subscribe, so you're always getting the latest strategies. We're always releasing the latest news and the nuances and the finesse of how to win this property wealth game. And until next time, do the right thing for the right reason, because it's the only way you're gonna discover your true potential.